this is this is Sonny Hostin, but Charlamagne the Fraud and The View have collaborated on an Instagram post of these awful sea hags bullying him into saying, tell your people to vote for Bo Jiden. It's incredibly creepy. The desperation is seeping through the screen. They're disgusting, right? I mean, imagine that level of like Stockholm syndrome. Imagine that level of brainwashing for the president, who actually looked better in 2020 when he told you right to your face that you're going to do as I say, boy. Imagine that. Imagine Charlamagne the Fraud admitting that he doesn't even like Bo Jiden and still voting for him because he can't wrap his head around it, or maybe the money's too good. I don't know what the problem is, but my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
Because the algorithm is a monster and they want me to stop, but I'm not going to stop. It would cost you nothing to engage with the content. If you want to help me out even a little bit more and spend some money, go ahead and buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. And of course, that book only gets better with age. I looked at it just a couple days ago. These pictures are from 4 years ago. Thousands of them. Of course, they all didn't make it into the book. Maybe I'll do a part 2. But that is a completely different story. This is Charlamagne the Fraud and the cackling hands, the sea hags at The View, trying to twist his arm to get him to say exactly what they want. And this is a snapshot. This is basically what's happening all over the place. Just do it. And we're like, bro, calm down, right? I don't want to do it. And he's still going to do it.
You have a massive platform reaching millions of listeners, and you and I have talked about this before. You endorsed Joe Biden back in 2020, but this time...
And for the record, I don't know how he got that huge platform. I mean, he's not funny. I mean, I guess they talk about music. Like, what are your credentials, bro? You're from South Carolina? How did you get any of that? I mean, same thing with Ebro. I think Ebro might have some sort of bona fides, I don't know, whatever. Might have some experience in music. He's an absolute shill. He's disgusting. He's actually worse than Charlamagne the Fraud and D.L. Hughley and Andrew Gillum, who of course lost the governor's race in Florida and then blocked me on Instagram. But I'm getting triggered, and that's a different story. Let's watch this clip.
Time around, you say you're not going to endorse anybody. Charlamagne, now is not the time, in my opinion, to sit this one out.
Yeah.
Bro, now's not the time. I mean, Bo Jiden already told you what you have to do, and now the cackling hens at The View are doubling down on that, and he's gonna do it.
Say that. I never said I was sitting it out.
What you gonna do?
I'm definitely voting in November, but what I like to focus on is issues, not individuals. Like, you know, when
but
you
why not endorse?
Huh?
Why not endorse Biden?
Because if I'm sitting here telling my listeners that, you know, you have somebody out there who is a threat to democracy, you have some...
And we at The View, we think people are so stupid that they're going to look at this milk dud talking head radio host and just do what he says, right? So Bo Jiden tells you directly to your face, vote for me or you ain't black. And you pass that message on, and you think Sonny Hostin and the cackling hens at The View think that everybody who listens to that show, which I would probably assume is dwindling, right? The Black Breakfast Club is not nearly as popular as it once was, but why don't you just tell them to do it? Why are you guys so desperate? Why don't you, and I've said this a million times, but it bears repeating, and it's a real question, not really rhetorical. Why don't you guys just go back to the dungeon and come up with an idea that people like, so you wouldn't have to keep fighting everybody to get them to vote against their best interest? But Charlamagne the Fraud is going to tell you that he is voting in his best interest, which maybe it is, because who knows what the machine's going to do to him if he doesn't follow their orders.
Somebody out there who said they want to, you know, suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. You saw this person, you know, try to lead an attempted coup of this country. And I'm telling people that this guy is a threat to democracy. Have you ever read Project 25? There's only 2 candidates out there. So if I'm saying that about this individual, the choice is clear, right?
This guy's a threat to democracy. Bro, what are you talking about, bro? You just got that talking point and you regurgitated it. You didn't come up with it. You don't even know what it means. But you just say it. And I truly don't know if he believes it or not.
And I've seen y'all do this on The View before. I saw y'all do this to Killer Mike when he was on The View. And Killer Mike literally sat here and said, hey, you know, I supported Keisha Lance Bottoms. I supported Ralph Warnock. I supported John Ossoff, right?
I supported all the Democratic commies. Killer Mike supported all the Democratic commies. Even though he was BFF with Bernie Sanders back in the day, none of it makes any sense.
In Georgia, and he said, you should support the people that I've supported. You should support the person who the people I've supported are supporting.
Okay.
That's y'all opportunity to say, well, clearly he's talking about President Biden. Why do y'all need us to say this if we don't feel comfortable saying it?
No, it's not that we need you to say it, but I think other folks need to hear.
Yeah. We don't need you to say it, but we think the masses are so stupid that they'll do what you say? Is that the argument?
Because, one of the things I'm sorry, I just jumped you, I'm sorry. But one of the things that we've been talking about is the fact that getting facts out through the media seems to be very difficult.
I feel like I just spewed some facts.
Do they,
yes.
Hang on. Do they genuinely can't tell? This is like when the LGBTQ mob, they always talk about, oh, there's so many bills, anti-LGBTQ, BBQ, CIA plus or whatever laws that are being passed, we're under attack. Well, obviously that's not true. You're not under attack, but you can't tell that people just don't like it, right? I mean, you're on the losing end. You're working against a massive awakening, and you just refuse to acknowledge it. I guess you kind of have to respect that because they probably know. You kind of have to respect this level of insanity and this level of evil. I genuinely don't know. Would I respect them more if they were evil, or would I respect them more if they were just stupid? I genuinely don't know. But it's a lose-lose either way.
But an endorsement we need you to do it on your show.
Well, the reality is I think both candidates are trash. So but I am going.
And that's a good that's one of the newer sort of mainstream media talking points. Well, the general population doesn't like either candidate, and they're disheartened with both. Are they really? Or did Trump just have a massive rally in Wildwood, New Jersey?
You know we had to get the hooligans up here. We're going to take this pussy nigga out. Yo, Dot, I got you.
And release sneakers. I mean, did he do all that stuff and people are kind of excited for it? Or are you just saying, I know I'm a Democrat and I'm supposed to go to bat for Beau Biden, but he's not that good, so I'm just going to say both, right? It's obvious. We know you don't like Donald Trump, so when you say I don't like both, that's just you saying that. I'm going to swallow my pride and do it anyways because that's what I've been told.
To vote in November, and I'm going to vote my best interest, and I'm going to vote who I think, can preserve democracy. So if I think both candidates are trash and I don't feel like, endorsing one, would you rather me endorse an individual or...
And I want to make a strange connection between him saying I'm voting my best interest, which obviously, well, again, if this were on the level, obviously that's not true. But it's incredibly crooked, and he's probably gotten in too deep. So it is in his best interest because that machine is going to come down hard if he strays too far away. We see it with the Kennedys, right? That's the point I want to make. Their own brother is running for president against Beau Biden, and they come out in their weird inbred vocal fry about how the Kennedy family is voting for Joe Biden, right? And they're probably doing that because they have firsthand knowledge of how powerful that machine actually is.
Endorse the fact that, hey, we need to go out here and protect democracy.
And by the way, I think it's incredibly powerful to use your platform just to draw the contrast. I actually tend to agree that I don't think an endorsement is somehow more powerful than reminding folks the other person tried to overturn our democracy. That breaks through. But I want to ask you, because you're kind of one of these, we call them double haters. I don't like to use the phrase, but
double haters?
Double haters, like not thrilled with Biden or Trump. And
I've never heard of that, like the chicken fried.
I called it.
I thought that was just called being an American nowadays. And you look at the polls.
Well,
people don't seem to be too pleased with either one of them.
And I'm right there with you. So you've called this a race between crooks, cowards, and the couch.
That's
and
right.
You say Democrats are losing the messaging game.
But let's be clear about who I say are the crooks. I say Republicans are the crooks. Mm-hmm. I say Democrats are the cowards. Mm-hmm. And I say the couches vote apathy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's completely backwards. Well, okay, all politicians are crooks. But, I mean, Think about the NGOs. Think about all the Democrats in California. Think about Gavin Newsom not being able to come up with $24 billion. Think about scumbag Bill de Blasio, Warren Wilhelm in New York not being able to come up with $1 billion. I thought that was a lot. But then you look at scumbag banger wife Governor Gavin Newsom, he can't account for $24 billion. So it's quite clear that the Democrats are the crooks and the Republicans are the cowards, right? You got guys like, and look, I don't want to get too deep into it, but like with this Mike Johnson guy who votes, oh, we're going to send money all over the place. And they can't just stand up and say, no, we're not doing that anymore. That's what I would do, right? So he's got that all backwards, even though I guess partly everybody's a crook. Anyways.
And I feel like, right now it looks like, voter apathy may win. But whose fault is that? Is that our fault or is it the candidates?
Well, and I'm curious at this juncture, 6 months out, who do you think wins?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, it's a toss up at this point.
Oh, you have no idea? Who do you think wins, if it's all on the level or if the cheating is through the roof? Because those are two separate questions.
I really don't know. I think the person who goes out there and probably energizes their base the best at this point. And, when you look at somebody like President Biden, it feels like his base is pretty pissed off at him for a number of reasons.
Help him out.
Well, no, look, I actually...
Help him out by doing what?
Well, I want to ask you something, because when you talk about crooks, we know that. We've talked about the Republicans ad nauseum here. But when you say the Democrats are cowards, how could Democrats show more courage right now in a way that speaks to you?
By doing what, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett did to Marjorie Taylor Greene the other day, I think Michelle,
I guess just, shouting in the Senate, and I'm not going to go to bat for MTG. That was weird. I mean, she tried to drop a one-liner. It didn't really land, and she talked about her eyelashes, of course, which I don't know why, because she's clearly wearing a white woman hair wig or whatever. If you wanted to go for the jugular, you would have gone for the obvious, right? Jasmine Crockett called MTG bleach blonde or whatever, and I don't know, she probably is bleaching her hair, whatever. I don't know. She's like 50 years old. Doesn't matter. But if you really wanted to go for it, then you would have said, why are you wearing that wig that looks like a white woman's hair? But I digress. And that's his version of courage, is screaming on the Senate floor. Why not just do sodomy, right? Why not just get a staffer to commit sodomy in the Senate chamber or whatever? That's super brave.
The Daily Caller reports two men filmed a sex tape in a Senate hearing room, and the video was shared in a private group for gay men in politics. It is believed the two men had sex in Heart Room 216, which is where the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee meets. You might recall this room if you watched the historic nomination hearings of U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson.
The former, First Lady called a play one time, and she said, when they go low, we go high. I think you got to rip that play up.
Yeah, well, they did, obviously, and Eric Holder told us the exact opposite.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, we kick them.
Yeah.
When they go low, you got to take it to the floor.
I don't even think she went low on that, because I think her pointing out the hypocrisy of them not attending to the rule was going high and using an example.
And that's why I
think it was brilliant.
You're right, and that's why everything looks so normal. All of this stuff has been normalized, and it shouldn't be normalized at all. There's nothing normal about American politics.
No.
But the way that, Democrats react.
It's definitely not normal, and you throw out buzzwords as if you know what they mean, and you don't. Oh, we got to save our democracy. What are you talking about, bro? How about you explain that? Do that. Or, right? I mean, this is the vapid nature of these people who I'm thankful I don't believe have the power that maybe celebrities once did.
To it sometime. They make it seem like it's normal. We got to stop acting like this stuff is normal, and you got to start calling BS where it's BS.
Well, so let me ask you this. If you think that's what needs to happen, because for me, I think back to the time when we couldn't vote. So
lady, why do you look like Predator? You got the shaved sides, and what the hell is going on with Whoopi Goldberg? I guess she hasn't had eyebrows in many, many years. You could use a little bit of those dreads and glue them onto your face. But obviously, this is the look that she's going with now, and now she's going to get super extreme, right? So this is like her version of the Biden commencement speech. She's going to be, oh, back in the day, we couldn't vote, so now we have to vote for Beau Biden?
Idea of voting for, this one or this one wasn't It wasn't about our best interest. It was about how do we get to point B.
That's right.
My point is, listen.
It's not about our best interest. It's just about doing what we're told. Point B, it's absolutely about your best interest. And you're ready, willing, and able to vote against that. But their interests are different from my interests and the interests of, I don't know, anybody watching this channel, likely, right? Your interest lies in propping up the machine. And I mean, look, think about Eric Adams and P. Diddy, right? And Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin out in New York, and former New York Governor Eliot Spitzer, and this weird cabal of sexual elites, Cartel Katie, stealing, lying, cheating, all of that stuff. It's completely different. But she is telling you right now that, yeah, it's not about our best interest. It's about getting to point B.
Listen, I don't know if it's because he's old or people are mad. I don't know why Democrats are mad at him. But I know I'm better off with him than I am with the other one.
Right.
That's what I know.
What? That's just made up. That's just made. Oh, I don't know why they don't like him. I don't know why they're. You have no idea. You can't think of any reason why anybody would be mad with Bo Jiden. But none of that even matters. It's not about your best interest. You know that you're better off because that's where your bread is buttered. This is disgusting.
So, and we say it because we always have to remind people of what we went through in order to do this, in order to have this right to vote. And so,
yeah, we struggled to get the right to vote. So you better do what I tell you to do. This is.
I'm losing my patience.
if you say you're going to vote, then I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Not only am I saying I'm going to vote, I'm telling you who the threat to democracy is.
Well, we do. Listen, we.
Look at him. He's capitulating to these ladies. I said the line. The threat to democracy. I said it a whole bunch of times. Come on, why don't you guys? Come on, man. Dude, you guys are all pathetic.
We do this every day. We know who the threat to democracy is.
And his name is Donald Trump. If you want me to spell that one out, come on.
And one would think, since there's only two.
I mean, there's third-party candidates, but you know.
Oh yeah,
there's only
beat your behind.
Okay, this is absolutely disgusting, and he's trying to play tough. He's trying to play middle of the road because I think somewhere inside of him he knows that his audience, whatever the regular viewers of the Breakfast Club, I suppose, are fleeing. They're smarter than he is. They're walking away from the Democratic establishment. So he can't just go out there and say, oh, you better vote for Bo Jiden because that's what he told me to do and I'm telling you to do that. So he can't go that far, but he can't stray too far off the plantation. And he just capitulated to the bullying. They put, 4 or 5 ladies around him and said, do what we say. And he didn't say the exact words, but he let them know that he got the talking point. And they only deal in talking points, because there is no substance behind it. They can't prove anything. In fact, when they try to, it always gets disproven because they're absolute liars and they are banking on the idea that most people are stone cold stupid.